everybody. We're up to day 41, and day 41 is a beige neutral coloured journal page, and I think that Rachel mentioned that Wendy had suggested this excuse me, and that Wendy had suggested an entire journal, and I think Rachel's right, we probably would be here till Christmas trying to do that just for our one day worth of 100-day project. So I thought that beige or neutral colour, you know, I do my sepia printouts and I do love them, but I had so I've just got bits of paper with this was off, I think it might have been off Biodiversity. If not, it was another website similar that has free stuff, and this is a very, very old sketch by an artist. So I've printed up 9 to the page, and I'll show you why. Because when we were thinking about journals, this is from an op shop, and when we were talking about a journal for the whole day, I remembered that I'd been to the shop and got a whole heap of these really old books, and I found this and thought, that is so cute. I am going to just do a sepia journal. But I decided that I wasn't going to pull it apart. It's even got the person's name who originally had it. Anyway, it's full of poems, good Christian poems, so we'll be covering up a lot of those, and I'll probably pull out some signatures. But what I thought I would do would just start. I mean, just start with collaging and making. Oh, look at that. Oh, who would cover that? That has to just stay. But I'm going to start with here. So little things like this can be ripped up. There's a selection on your printer where you just select how many to a page. So this is 9 to a page. So I have, what else have I got? This was on the same website. So I've made a sepia version of this old black and white print and background. So parts of this, you know, there's little interesting parts. I printed out 2 of these so I can make a collage with it as a background. Another time, or today, who knows, we'll see. I decided I'd also print up some bits and pieces of my own collages. So this was a collage that had the grey pebbles and stuff, but I've just changed it to being sepia and a bit of lace over the top, and it came up, I mean, I think I made 4 cards, so when I, you know, so they're each this size, and then when I printed them up, I stuck the 4 cards and then scanned it like that. So that's a 4 up. So that's one of those ones where when you do it 4 up, you can cut it and make tags. Anyway, that's probably self-explanatory. I didn't need to explain it in that much depth. What else have I got here? Okay, so this was I've got 1 or 2 of my graffiti style backgrounds that I made. There's the other one. There, that one was just, I printed it out as it was. This one I've printed out 4 up because I was thinking this book's very tiny, so if I want any details I'm going to need them smaller, and if I just use 1 then I've still got the rest of the page I can use. What else have I got in here? Just a bit of this neutral paper. This was an old bit of lace I found out at Woodend one day, and I've got quite a few. I've scanned it as it was. It was actually white, and then I mucked around in Photoshop, and I found that I made it gold. I could make it gold in one of the settings. Actually, I think I even edited it to gold on my phone in one of the phone apps for photography. And so this is actually a blue background with a very bluish tinge, but what I did was made this sepia, and then I thought if I wanted to use a little bit of this lace, I'd do it 4 up once again, so as I've got enough for a little tiny book. And I've got, this was a card that I had with a coloured background and embossed, and I've changed that to sepia and done that 4 up. And also this is a mixed media canvas that I've scanned in or taken a photo of and just taken a snippet of it, made it sepia, lightened it and done 4 up again so that I've got more variety. So there we have it for our beginning, and I'll probably just waffle on today. I feel like a bit of a waffle. Bit of a waffle. I've put the cats outside so they're not going to be doing their usual interrupty thing, and let me just, because like I said yesterday or the day before, whoops, on I had rearranged my room a little bit because I was a bit annoyed that I could only film in the afternoon, and the only reason I could only film in the afternoon was because the sun would stream in and make too much light. So I'm filming in the morning, and once again the sun is streaming in, but I've shut the blind, but because it's so bright out there, it's light enough, and I might, you know, I'll see later, I might have to edit in the edit it out, or you know, change the light setting a bit later if it's not coming up properly. All these things we learn, it's great, love it. Really enjoying this project, enjoying learning new things about film editing and all sorts of stuff. I mentioned I'd seen my brother for his birthday, so that made me a bit less isolated, I think. I think I was feeling a bit isolated for a bit of the time. Just my flatmate's gone. My flatmate went back to work a week or 2 ago, just a couple of days a week at school, because they didn't want her, the kids, she's a speech pathologist, so she's been doing the children online, so that's been fun for her, and she's started to get back out into going regularly, and tomorrow's the first day. Teachers are generally all back full-time teaching, so she'll be off and out. Now, what do I want? Some of this, just this down the side. It's got some interesting, almost coffee stain looks about it. How windscreen am I? Oh, I am. Good. Because I moved my camera setup too. I actually think I was going to show a photo of how I do my camera setup. I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I had a tripod already, and you know how it is. You get sick of spending money on all these things. And so I got a gooseneck, snake neck kind of contraption, which has a very long neck, and you attach one end and then you can put your phone in the other end, and the wire, anyway, the thing about it was that the wire, although very hard to bend, did wobble around. So what I've done is put my tripod and sort of looped it over the tripod, and yeah, it's kind of weird, but anyway, I'll put a photo in the screen right there because I can. Right, glitter glue. Now this is the point that I wish I had a bit more lace, because I actually would like to put in a bit of texture. But I don't. Or, well, maybe there's some in a tub in the garage somewhere. But it's probably about time I got another tub out of the garage to see what was in it and did a what's in my tub session. Which can often be just a load of rubbish, but still interesting when something crops up that you weren't expecting. I really liked this. This was a very pink, stipply looking background print, which I quite liked behind here. That actually I did when I was at doing my visual arts diploma. But it was pink, so isn't it amazing how you can just change it to sepia and get a very sort of coffee stained look, as if and then I stenciled over the top. How cute. There's going to be an entire sepia. I'm making a pocket. But first I will put a different one. I know. We're actually in one of the groups I'm in. We had a discussion, and I know we all have our own versions of our own spirituality, etc. And around the whole world, there's lots and lots of versions, and that's perfectly fine. And I support everyone having their own belief structure. But we had a discussion about whether it was ethical, so this was in a junk journal group, whether or not it was ethical to rip up a Bible to make a journal from. And that was a really good discussion. And I don't really think it's right for me to give my personal views, but because bad things happened to me when I was younger that were part of the church, so I kind of do have a few points of view that I've tried to get rid of. And my thought was that everybody would say, oh gosh, no, you should never do that. That's totally bad to make a journal out of a Bible. And I'm saying that because this is a little Christian poem book. So it reminds me of hymns and singing hymns when I was little in the church. And what was surprising to me was the fairness of the women in the group who were Christians to use the Bible as a junk journal, because why not? Because there might be some nice words in there, there might be something that you find interesting, and that was a surprise to me anyway. I learned something. I liked it. glasses on, because even though it's light enough on the screen and probably fine for you, it's actually dark for me. Now, what do I want next? I think I want to make a little... Oh, it's not going to be... I've done this before where I've made cards on this angle. They fit in like that, and you cut them. So what I need is some cardstock. Actually, I've got one. Is this the one? That's when I was doing a tester for a little shabby journal, and I hadn't calibrated the printer, so I actually think I might use a bit of this for the backing for cardstock, because it's a bit sepia. It's got blue, yes, I know it's not following the brief, but could I ever do anything the way anyone wants me to? Oh, there's my hair tie getting caught on that. Okay, I'm going to stick this on here. Might use a bit of glue for that. Get it right out to the edges. Yes, so I was waffling on about... and then I completely went somewhere else in my mind, and I have no idea where I went. But anyway, here you go. I am making a little card for that tuck spot, and I was talking about using whether or not I felt I should use this book and cover it up and tear it and etc. Anyway, that was my thought, was that I thought I would be smitten down if I'd have used the Bible. And the ladies in that junk journal group, I think it was the Pam's Facebook, the Paper Outposts group. And the women, they were just so nice. They were just so lovely about it, and not even thinking. Right, now look, let's look at this. If you wanted to come in a bit deeper, you can cut that edge like that. See? That way you get a little side one, and you can also cut this bit. Get that there. And cut this bit. Now, what can happen with that then? Where's my little hole thing? Do a little hole. A little bit of this string. I should probably find something a bit more sepia-ish, but this will do. I say sepia because it's my version of what beige is. Anyway, so this brings me to another thought, right? So, how am I going to get that to stay knotted? Actually, I think I'm going to double it. Let's double it like this. The next topic of my ramble is from a conversation with Donna from Junk Journal Ideas. That's YouTube and Facebook. we had a phone conversation about copying other people, and the take I have on it is that it's honourable to mention that person. So, for instance, if I see Rachel do something during this 100-day journal thing, I'll say, oh, this, you know, I saw Rachel do this, or you'll put it down, you know, in the YouTube section, you put it down in the comments area, or in the, you know, under there, down under that box down there, where you might say, oh, I saw a video by blah blah blah. So as I was doing this, I was thinking, gosh, I'm totally making that up. But you know what? The thing I learned when I was studying music at VCA is that there is nothing new. Everything's already been done in one way or another. It's really nice if you watch someone doing something to give them some credit. But also, if you're doing something like this and you go, oh, I bet no one's done that, you know, there's probably a very big chance that someone already has. So I haven't watched anyone do that before. So that's how that is. Yeah, that was my my little rant. And also the other thing is that when I was studying music, because I think I've talked about it before, I was studying jazz and improvisation. And the thing about jazz and improvisation is that on a scale, there are still only between 5 and, I don't know, 13 notes, however many. I wasn't good at maths, so I never took in a lot of that information. And what happens is that you could sort of do the same notes in the same order as someone else, but there is your own inflection and your own tone and your own interpretation, I guess, that makes it uniquely yours. And the other point about that is that with can't get my brain and my mouth into gear at the same time. Going off on a philosophical rant and trying to just be in the creative moment is not always easy. I can't remember even now where I was going with that. Yes, your own slant on things, and nothing's new in the world. Give credit where credit's due. Oh, I know what the other bit was. The other bit was that bit my text, I think. The other bit was that when we were studying improvisation, so for instance I was studying voice, one of my favourite singers was Sarah Vaughan. So what we would do often was we would learn the way that they did their improvisation. So in a way that would be copying it. And so there's also a place in creativity where you may unwittingly be copying someone, but it's part of the journey of your own unfolding as an artist to work out where you're going, you know, what your particular skills are going to be, and skills, I don't know, your take on things, and how you bring your own unique self to it, to any of your art and creations. Sure, there's some competitive people around who might just willy-nilly copy people and take their ideas, etc. And you know what, that's probably part of their creative journey too. But for the most part, sometimes you do end up doing that copying thing for a little while you're trying to find who you are as an artist and as a creative person. Anyway, my point is, I don't know, I'm just doing what I do and I love it. I love it. I'm having a great time. I'm exploring, finding out things. I'm doing stuff I might not have even done before and really enjoying that too. Gosh, I love this paper. Love it. Be kind. That's really that's the end result of my little ramble then. It's nice to be kind. Oh, where are my stamps? What did I stamp? Just totally felt like stamping something on that. What have I got? I've got ganache. That's one of my favourites. But you know what? I wonder where they are. I just got a re-inker. Oh, here it is. Gothic purple. I needed a re-inker for that. Now I got a re-inker for this. How good's that? Just double check. Oh no, that's midnight blue. It's not ganache at all. I didn't get a ganache refill. Maybe this one's okay with my... Okay, where's my... Oh no, it's over there. Oh, where is it? No, is it here? Is it here? No, it's... Oh. See, now I've put it somewhere else and now I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I tried to make it like, you know, this sort of a shape. So as I've got my computer here, my table here, my little trolley with things here, and behind me I've got the sewing machine so I can just swivel around. I'm trying my best to get these setups sorting themselves out. Let's see how we go. Seems to still have enough ink. Of course, as these are solvent based, they can dry out a little bit. What am I doing? I'm just wanting to do that. I was seeing if there was enough ink on it to do the edges. I think I've mentioned it before, and I'm pretty sure it was on joggles.com, that the idea of tapping gently more times and then doing your hard press on the actual stamp is their suggestion of what works. There we go. There. Oh, that's nice. I love that. So I might carry it through a bit over here. Of course, if you've got the side of a book, you need to lift the book up to do that. There. Alright, well that's set the tone for how the rest of the book's going to go. Now I kind of feel like I've got to do a bit of it there too, to blend it in, not dark enough. This way. Oops. This is one of those things that, you know, you start the book, you get going, You get going and then you go, oh, I could just keep going through the whole book. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put this bit on here. That's why I got that out. I was going to do a bit of a edge thing. I don't know that I want to do that. I don't want to commit to doing that all the way through the book. I think that might get a bit much. But who knows? I might get totally carried away. Okay, put that there, put that over there. Put my re-inkers over there because I'll use them another time. Okay. So I want to cover this because I love numbers. Oh, I just thought of something. Oh, okay. I love numbers. There you go. I don't like. I love seeing numbers as a visual medium. I don't love numbers as a anything else medium. Did not like maths at school. Okay, that's going there. It's not because I couldn't do it, but you know, as an artist, there are different areas of maths, and of course, I was a primary school teacher for a little while, and I was quite interested in letting kids who didn't think that they knew how to do maths know that sometimes maths skills also spatial. Spatial is in the maths. I feel like I'm just totally spouting on today about everything. Maths is, yeah, spatial. Spatial ability to know spaces around you is a mathematical skill. Did you know that? So kids at school who felt really bad about not doing maths or not enjoying it often were skilled, especially artists, were skilled in that spatial area. Like they understood time and space and areas and how, how far what a distance is, things like that. Okay, so let's put that there. Funnily enough, I've segued again. Hello, brain. Funnily enough, this All That Glitters book, I had no idea, but it had a lot of religious stuff in it that I discovered, and it's like, I'm covering up the religious stuff with religious stuff. What is going on? Oh dear. Covering up my blue bit. There was a bit of blue there that I tested the new Posca pen on. And you know what? This has to be neutral and beige. It's not allowed to be blue. Well, let's use a bit of lace. Not the real stuff. The photocopy rendition. So anyway, even though I like numbers, because my brain just remembered what I was talking about, thanks brain, even though I remember numbers, I love numbers. It's in an art and a visual context. It's not in a sit down and do your 1 + 1. You know those what do you call them? People have been sharing on Facebook those damn things that are all about, you know, it's a picture with a person with 2 shoes on and an ice cream cone, whatever, and doing my head in. I just cannot get it. I just can't. It's stupid. Drives me insane. So yeah, I don't love that. I just do not love that at all. However, I love space and time and stuff like that. So yeah. Thus endeth the maths lesson. That'll be nice. Will it? Let me have a look what it'll be like on the other side. Maybe that won't be so nice. Or what if it's like that? Oh, okay. And then I can cover it. No, I don't know. You know what? I want something on the back. What do I want? Is there any way I can... No, I don't want to do that. Alright, it's just going to go on the edge like that. This way. Or this way. Alright, what have we got so far? We've got a little front page. I've left that one because that's, don't touch that, that's just brilliant. I'm not sure if I want to leave, I don't think I want to leave someone's personal name and address there. I might cover that up. That's, gosh, I shouldn't have even been showing that because that could be still a house that someone lives in and it could still be that same person. That was a bit rid of me. Maybe I will do a blackout on the film. I'll blip that out. Bit of lace over. Bit of this. So in Melbourne today, the wind is a bit cool, but you know what's really nice? My flatmate she just went for a walk, and what's really nice is when you just pick the right moment and go for a bit of a wander. Do I want that whole picture? I might want that whole picture there. Do I? I'm doing it. That's what's happening. Cover that address again. I've decided I've got no filter. I just, look there. I just recently was thinking, I've got no filter sometimes. Right. This is me covering the address up. Now I have no idea who owned it before, which is a shame because that was kind of fun to me. Not ethical to the rest of the world. Maybe this looks a bit like a fallopian tubes or something. Maybe that's a silly idea to use that. Use a bit of this. Do I? No. Yes, no, yes, no. Use the little one. we go. Now the dog, I've got the cats outside, but now the dog up the road, not up the road, on my block even, I think it's number 1's dog, has become the most yappiest little dog in the world. It's fine, I think, when she's home, but if she pops out or goes to work or something, I don't know, actually she wasn't working, but if she goes to visit her mum, that dog gets its little yap happening. Yappy, yappy, yappy. It doesn't sound like I like animals very much sometimes. My cats annoy me. What am I doing with this little bit? Well, certainly a yappy dog annoys me, but also the cats don't annoy me if they're happy and fine, but they do seem to like their food, and I still feed them more than they're meant to have, but they are still hungry all the time, and it's really, it's like having babies again. They're just back there having a whinge about what I'm not doing, and it's like, you know, I don't care. My kids have moved out. I don't want to be mothering anyone anymore. Oh God, I really should just be quiet now. My brain is just should shut up. I'm pretty sure if any of you are ladies whose children have left home and crafters will understand that sentiment about this is our time. Maybe some of us didn't do it all our lives because we were busy with our children and busy with stuff, family, housework, cooking, all etc, etc. And now we're free. We don't want to be interrupted 50,000 times with yappy dogs or demanding cats. Wish I had some sepia washi tape. I don't. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put one of these little easily things. This reminds me a bit of Leonardo da Vinci. Can't quite read it. It's got a stamp and it's got the person's name, but it's kind of scrubbed out. So, don't know. Maybe it was a Leonardo da Vinci thing. I think I want it to go under there. Did it stick? Didn't push it down because I wasn't sure if I wanted to put something just underneath. Okay, so I'm just thinking what else I might want on this, because this is going to look like the front page, isn't it? And the only thing I can think of is maybe a little name tag or something. Yep, yeah, little tuck spot. Let me see. Just reaching over there. See, it did work. I could just reach around and get something. Some of Nick the Booksmith's little bits and pieces. What's this? Or other people's, maybe, I don't know. I started to glue it and then went, no, that's not right. And then I went, yeah, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Okay, I do like that. I'm not quite sure I like this bit. Something else. What can I find? Stamp. What's this little stamp? Here's an Australian stamp. Oh, I'm adding a bit of red. No, getting off the brief. But I so want to put that on. I just totally want to not yet. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. I can't stick to. Cannot stick to the brief. There, already ruined in one go. But it's not really, because you know what? I can, because it's poetic license, creative license, and wow, how long have I been going? I can't see, my glasses don't focus on my phone that well. Right, you know what, there's just one more thing. Okay, this is going to be enough for now, other than, and I think I might, you know, do something like put just a paper cover over the thing with some description. I don't know. That might come to me another day. Okay. Yes, 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 and up to here. I want to. Don't know where my pencil's gone. Dun, dun, dun. Up there. Guesstimating. How deep is it going to be? Oh, I just had an idea as I was doing this. See, there you go. Isn't that good? Right, I tuck it in. I fold it. I don't want to lose the numbers because I like the look of the numbers. I fold it again. Now I can take it out. Let's move that out of the way. Alright, so I'm making a little concertina tuck thing. Straightening this up a bit. So that edge is going to go into the tuck spot, and let's fold this about the same. And fold this one about the same. And cut this edge off. Yeah, because it will be. I'm going to cut it in. It's a bit wonky on the back. I'm going to cut this so as it's a bit shorter, so there's an actual edge. You know what else I'm going to do with that? I'm going to pattern the edge, because why not? Because it'll add some interest. Okay, now is when I will do a bit of this, so as it helps that be accentuated. I like that. In fact, I'm going to go around the whole thing. How did it go? That way. Right. Okay, so it goes this way. So this back as well needs to be edged. Dun, dun, dun. Just a nice little subtle bit of edging where I haven't used edging in the rest. Adds another dimension, doesn't it? If you, gosh, I'm going to go on another rant again. I keep, like, it's like talking about this stuff is talking about creativity, and then when you talk about creativity, I always end up going back to my thoughts when I was, you know, in my 20s studying music, where most of our conversations were about creativity, because it was the improvisational course. And I was just going to say that the thing about this being a creative thing means that maybe sometimes you don't edge things, and then maybe sometimes you do, and it adds just a whole other like level. So now you've got like this little tuck which has got lots of writing space on it. How good's that? I did have a thought that to hold it you could have a pin, not a pin, a paper clip. Actually a big paper clip would hold that down without it being too much. I am actually thinking though that I would not mind just putting card backing on there. Here I was thinking I was winding it up and I've just gone off on another tangent. Maybe we need to use a bit of the Melbourne, no, we're using a bit more of this. No, I better not. I was going to use a bit of the Melbourne sky. I'll use the Melbourne skyline card. It's neutral, isn't it? Maybe I'm really getting off the track totally. Oh, I don't know. Oh no, I don't want to. Alright, I'll come back to that. I think I would like to use a bit of manila folder or something. Just one little bit for the back of that. But the Melbourne one I was thinking would have been funny. But I actually, stylistically, I think I want to, aside from my little blurt of the stamp with the burgundy and the yellow on, I think I would like to keep most of it sepia toned. Just the odd little bit. Okay, here it is with my, oh, I've got it, look, it's almost sepia, a gold paper clip. Fits in tone-wise anyway. There we go. There you have it. The start of a little sepia book, part 1. There. Oh, that looks nice there, doesn't it? There you go. Little writing tuck spot, and that was day 41. That's all I'm doing on that for now, but I might come back to it and visit it another time. Oh, look, I hope you are well, and stay safe and enjoy life, and I will speak to you later. Bye.